Thank you for joining the media briefing for Council President Kate Stewart. I'm Jordan Lindsay. Reporters, if you still need permission to record, please note that in the chat. And if you have any questions, you can note that in the chat as well. You can raise your hand and I will call on you accordingly. Now go ahead and toss it to Council President Stewart for remarks. Council President, to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Jordan. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. Yesterday, I had the pleasure to join the executive and my council colleagues for the 30th anniversary of the Department of Health and Human Services. The department provides outstanding services to many diverse communities, residents, and businesses. The department, its employees, and community partners consistently rise to meet every challenge before them, whether it's a public health crisis or budget challenges coming from the Trump administration. I want to personally thank Dr. James Bridgers and our County Health Officer, Dr. Keisha Davis, for their steadfast commitment to public health and the welfare of our community. Montgomery County consistently performs higher than state and national averages in many areas of public health, such as life expectancy, and the department continues to develop new and innovative and accessible programs that directly address the public health needs of all our residents. So now moving on to council items. The council had a very busy session yesterday. We introduced legislative items and voted on some important bills. First up, new legislation that I introduced is the Environmental Sustainability Community Choice Aggregation. Community choice aggregation is when local entities aggregate the buying power of individual customers to secure alternative energy supply contracts for residents. By aggregating the purchasing power of residents, the county will be able to create large contracts with energy generators to lower costs for consumers and secure greener energy for our community. This bill would establish a community choice aggregator to expand options in Montgomery County for more renewable and more sustainable energy sources. In 2021, the Maryland General Assembly enacted House Bill 768, authorizing the county to pursue a pilot community choice aggregation program, also known as CCA. Due to the shifting federal climate policies, volatile energy prices from our regional transmission operator, and rising demand, it's critical for the county to pursue local strategies to stabilize energy costs and advance climate initiatives. The 2021 County's Climate Action Plan identifies community choice aggregation as the #1 most impactful climate action the county can take to reach its climate goals by 2035. The CCA would allow Montgomery County to buy electricity on behalf of residents and small businesses, providing the county and residents more options for competitive prices in an unstable energy market. In February of 2023, the County Council unanimously supported a letter to the Maryland State Public Service Commission endorsing community choice aggregation pilot regulations to be developed with resident input. The commission subsequently adopted the recommended framework. The CCA would be operated by the county's Department of Environmental Protection, supplying power with higher renewable content than state requirements, while prioritizing sustainability, affordability, and price stability. The steps we need to take as a county are straightforward, and passing this legislation authorizing the creation of a CCA plan is the first step to ensuring residents have access to affordable, clean energy in the future. The public hearing on this bill is scheduled for September 9th. Next up, moving on to legislation that the council enacted yesterday. First is expedited bill 10-25, which provides a county hiring preference for federal workers who have lost their job due to actions taken by the Trump administration. Vice President Jawando was the lead sponsor on this bill, and I co-sponsored it along with several council colleagues. This bill applies to former federal employees who reside in the county and on or after January 1st of 2025 received either a notification from the federal government that the individual's federal position was no longer needed or that the individual was subject to a federal reduction in force. The county currently provides hiring preferences to job applicants for a number of reasons, including, for example, those with a disability or injury that impacts their work under the ADA, county employees subject to a county reduction in force, and veterans. Bill 1025 adds an additional hiring preference for displaced federal workers who lost their jobs on or after January 1st, 2025. In Montgomery County, approximately 77,000 residents work for the federal government, not including contractors, and their public service is a valued part of our democracy. This is just one step we are taking here in the county to help support residents impacted by the ongoing mass layoffs within the federal government. This legislation gives displaced federal workers an opportunity to continue a career in public service, and the legislation is scheduled to sunset on July 2nd, 2027. Yesterday, we also voted to enact Bill 13-25 that was led by Council members Lukey and Friedson, and I also co-sponsored. The legislation prohibits any nonprofit unlicensed party in the county that admits the general public and establishes penalties for violations of that prohibition. It protects the peace of our neighborhoods by cracking down on these unlicensed profit-driven events that create noise, traffic, and safety concerns like those we saw last summer. Since the majority of these types of unlicensed and unregulated commercial events addressed in this bill tend to occur during the summer months, the council was able to expedite the bill yesterday, and so it became law once it was voted on and passed. It increases the fines for these commercial house parties from a maximum of $500 to $5,000. And the bill reflects a shared commitment to community well-being shaped by resident feedback and the expertise of departments and agencies in the county that were consulted throughout the process, as we learned that the county needed more effective tools to fight this already illegal activity. The thoughtful collaboration between county agencies and community members in crafting this bill underscores our collective responsibility to preserve safe, welcoming neighborhoods for everyone. Finally, yesterday, we held a public hearing on expedited Bill 19-25, which would provide an exemption for landscape professionals to use gas-powered leaf blower equipment during certain months of the year and set a sunset date for the seasonal exemption. This bill's lead sponsor is Councilmember Gabe Albanaz. The seasonal exemption would allow the use of combustion-powered leaf blower equipment by a professional landscaping company for 3 months during the fall, starting October 1st until December 31st, limiting use to weekdays, Monday through Fridays, between the hours of 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. This exemption does not extend to weekends and would sunset seasonal exemption in 3 years. The county's ban on the use of gas-powered leaf blowers took effect on July 1st. Yesterday, we heard arguments from both sides on this bill. Now the proposal moves to the Transportation and Environment Committee for its first scheduled work session on July 28th. And that's all I have for today. Jordan, I'll turn it back to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Council President. Reporters, if you have any questions, please note that in the chat and we will call on you accordingly. I look up first is Brad Bell, ABC 7 WJLA. Good morning, Brad.
Oh, thanks for the introduction. Ms. Stewart, can you talk a little bit more about this House Party bill? It's kind of a big deal last summer. One of the guys that was hosting them is now under indictment for supporting a revolution in Cameroon and rape in Montgomery County, attempted rape. Have you had any more of these things? I mean, how serious a problem was this?
I think last year we very much, as you noted, Brad, experienced a number of these that were very serious. They caused a great deal of concern and problems for our local neighbors. People were concerned about the activities that were taking place there. And to have these, for-profit, unlicensed parties occurring in our community, it was very disturbing to many folks. And I really want to commend my colleagues, Councilmember Lukey and Friedson, for working with the community, working with our county departments, in crafting this bill to move forward so that we make sure that what is already, an illegal activity, that we have the mechanisms and the tools in place to enforce the illegal activity and move forward and make sure that we don't have these types of parties that are, again, they're for-profit, unlicensed parties in the county.
Any concern about infringement on homeowner rights?
No, because they were very clear as this bill worked through committee that, if a homeowner is throwing a party, or if it's a nonprofit entity that's having a party that on their own property, that is allowable. As Councilmember Lukey spoke to yesterday, she was married in her backyard and she's not looking to be a wedding crasher or crash anybody's weddings. Those types of things can still take place. People can still have their parties in their backyard. What we're really focused on here are these for-profit, unlicensed parties that are already illegal, and making sure that we have the enforcement mechanisms in place.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Brad. Reporters, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand or you can note that in the chat. Any more questions going once? Going twice? 3 times. Okay, back to Council President Stewart. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here today. It is the month of July. We have 2 more council sessions next Tuesday and the following Tuesday left on our calendar before we are on recess for the month of August. So we have 2 packed full weeks and look forward to answering your questions in the upcoming weeks. Thanks so much.